a tutti ragazzi, benvenuti in questo nuovo video di Nerds in Quarantine. Io sono Tindu e lui è Fester. Oggi siamo su The Stanley Parable. Che genere è questo gioco?
Comico e molto assurdo come video di gioco.
Ok, cominciamo.
Is never dead, is never dead, is
Loading,
never.
never.
Beh, in effetti il loading è molto lento.
Non sarà mai la fine del caricamento. Is never the end of loading. Come non detto?
Questo per parlare troppo.
Nutella, Nutella. Mi sembra un'altra cosa però.
Era finita la carta igienica.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Stanley.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room
che bello,
427
tipo.
and he pushed buttons on the keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every
Solo
year.
questo che fa come
And
lavoro.
although
Wow.
others might have considered
bello.
it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job.
Che lavoro bruttissimo.
Infatti.
Was happy.
Stanley era felice.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his
C'è
office.
presente il narratore di quello come si chiama? Jack Cucchiaio.
Ah, sì.
È la stessa voce.
Vero.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Quella è la sala riunioni.
Quanto contiamo qui? Proprio poco.
Ho spento il computer.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Ok.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
In una sala dipendente. Tutto qui.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
No, io me ne vado.
Ma così tanto così.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Presa la prima porta aperta alla sua sinistra.
Ok.
La prima porta aperta alla sua sinistra. Quella.
Ah, è questa. Mi fa paura. No.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago.
100 anni fa.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else... Forgotten about. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful.
Vai, ok.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Va bene.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating. Stanley walked through the red door. All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
Non lasciare che io ti fermi.
You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted?
Oddio.
Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Dove vado? Qua?
Okay, so we're getting somewhere. Clearly there's something here that speaks to you. Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel family life? I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Ciao.
You heartless
Sardo senza cuore.
do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for you. I'm not even going to try. I'm out, I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes. This seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Oddio!
No! No!
Any better? At last, the one thing you've always desired. A game I had absolutely nothing to do with. But is it enough? Tell me that, Stanley. Will it ever be enough? Well, I'll say this. I'm done making things for you. From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house. Your own inadequacy.
Ma io dico quello che fai tu.
But you've only seen it from the outside. You've only gotten half the experience. Please, step inside and make yourself comfortable.
Ok.
Isn't it grand? Isn't it perfect?
Perfettissimo.
It could only be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond. Diamond everything. Yes, yes, yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
Ho aperto una via. Giochiamo a Minecraft, dai. Abbiamo capito il gioco.
Dove devo andare? Di qua. Musichette tipo quelle di
Oh
Minecraft
my.
proprio.
It looks like it's going to get a bit dark. Have you brought a light?
No.
Oddio. Non andare con la segnale.
Oh, no, 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 no. this is far more open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear. Something that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all, 1 out of 5. Even the diamonds couldn't save this one.
Si sentono gli
Okay,
zombie.
new game.
Perché volavo?
Yes! I don't even know what this game is, but I love it.
Che gioco è?
You, trapped in a glass box with no way out, listening to me
Assassin's
talk.
Creed.
Oh, it's
No, no.
inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself.
Portal,
What is
Portal,
this game even
Portal
supposed to
2.
be? I can't figure it out. Ooh,
Ah, io
okay,
Portal
now
non
I'm
ci ho mai
curious.
giocato, ma così posso
Let's
giocare.
go find out what the hell this is. Oh, it's a puzzle. Critical thinking, Stanley. Your forte. Genius. No, actually, you know what? I think that's plenty. I really don't care much to see you stumble through any
volevo
more of
giocare a
these games.
Portal.
And I highly doubt you're any wiser.
What?
Beta.
Cosa? Aspetta.
Sembra un gioco beta. Infatti è ancora in progettazione. Guarda, se è un gioco ancora in progettazione. Esploriamo.
Una torcia no,
Oddio.
Dove sono?
Oddio. Siamo finiti.
Che gioco è mai questo?
Non farò computer.
E ora?
Aspetta. Facciamo una stanza a parte, stiamo fuori.
Presto, sì. Vabbè.
Oddio, che gioco strano.
Ma può essere pure The End is Never. Pure End...
Vediamo un po'.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ok, parliamo.
Che ha detto?
I suoi colleghi sono scomparsi. Vediamo un po'.
Non l'ha
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. Stanley went around
Vediamo
touching
sti sempre
every little
matite.
thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Ok. Tutto chiuso.
Devi toccare ogni cosa, tipo.
Avanti.
No, basta.
Vabbè.
Sangue. Ah, caffè.
Hayet. Monday. Io odio il lunedì.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered that this was not the correct way to...
Benvenuti in questa seduta. Oggi siamo venuti qui per parlare di un argomento molto fondamentale per il nostro canale YouTube. Nerds Quarantine. Allora,